Hi guys, and welcome to the Raw Light Podcast. My name is Danielle Baker, and thank you for being here today. You're going to have to excuse the noise in the background for the second because I had to put the kettle on for Oakley's bottles. So it's just going to be noisy for a couple of seconds. Now, today's podcast isn't going to be anything too crazy. I'm probably going to do 10 to 15 minutes, just a little shorty today, mainly because I've got my period and I don't have too much brain capacity to go into too much. But knowing me, I will get on a bit of a rampage and we will see how we go. So I want to talk to you guys in general and just chat, okay? So chat to you guys as a friend. So Oakley's just turned 1. That's 1 year of being a parent, and navigating life as a parent is very interesting. Anyone that says that it's not challenging, or you know what, I admire the women that can get out of bed within, because I was one of this person and I wish that I'd taken it slower. Postpartum goes for 1 to 2 years, depending on you, depending on your body, depending on your mental health and how it's going, and how your baby is as well. Are they sleeping? Are they not? Are they eating well? All those types of things plays a huge factor in a woman's mental health. And I was literally just making pizza before. We always have homemade pizzas. It's normally on Sundays, but this week was a bit different. So I decided to do them tonight, and they're pretty yummy. But I was sitting there and I was thinking about all the things and all the stress that I think about that I never ever used to think about. Like, what's Oakley going to eat tomorrow? How much is she going to eat? She hasn't pooed today, so she's probably going to have a little bit of a sore stomach tonight. So she's probably going to be up a little bit earlier because she needs to poo, just like those types of things. I have to go away for work to Adelaide, so we're going on our honeymoon on the 1st of August until like the 6th. And then I fly to Adelaide for 3 days on my own to see my really good friend, Jason McGrice. A lot of you may have heard him. He's on Insight Timer. He is an absolutely incredible Reiki teacher and also a gifted meditation teacher, and holds retreats in America at the moment. He's a absolutely epic human. His wife is fucking amazing. So I'm going to see Jace, and I'm doing a retreat with a couple of women, one from Hawaii and one I think from Adelaide or somewhere else. But I'm really looking forward to those 3 days, but I'm also freaking the fuck out because I'm also like, okay, great. Josh is great with Oakley. There's no doubt about it, but it's just like the mum brain kicks in. Like, I hope he feeds her enough. I hope he gives her enough water. She'll get constipated. She won't sleep. She'll be, and then he's staying at my in-laws as well. And that's always like it's just an added pressure on anyone, I feel, in general, because it's kind of like you're trying to navigate like them and a baby at the same time. So I feel like it would be interesting to see how my hubby goes, but I'm all for it, and I'm all for him kind of expanding and experiencing having her on his own. But my mind was literally like today, oh my God, like even at nighttime, if I go to the toilet, I come back to bed, and before I fall back to sleep again, I'm like, man, I've got to go to Adelaide so I'm like upgrading myself to masters with Reiki. So there's a little bit of a plan behind this for you guys. So I need to have my masters to be able to start properly teaching big classes and groups energy work, but I'm actually going to be creating my own. So basically from scratch. So you know how obviously I'm going to learn off a master. They've been taught off masters, and there's only so many of them left. These guys are from Japan, so it's a very specific one that I've learnt, and there's a reason why. But the reason why I'm going to get my masters is I have my own way of doing energy healing. So I'm basically creating what those masters have done. I have spoken to my mentor before, and he has told me that I am like a master of energy. Like, that's what I've come back to, is teach energy and be like a master at it. So I'm going to be creating courses from scratch, but I need to have this qualification to teach humans. It's what used to frustrate me when I'd be like, I have all this gift, but now I have to go and get this stupid certificate just so that everybody would, trust somebody, but I have a higher understanding of it all now, and I really do understand why things are in place with society and things, because we can't just have people running around doing things that are harming others in general. So it's really important to get those qualifications. I don't know. When I was younger, I used to get super frustrated at it because I'd be like, oh, I have all these gifts, but I have to get this and this before people would trust me. It was also a bit of a limiting belief on myself, like a massive limiting belief on myself. So, yeah, that is what I'll be doing in Adelaide. I'm super excited. I also love Adelaide. I don't know if any of you have been to Adelaide. It's one of my favourite cities. Like, Adelaide is one of my favourite cities. It has got art. It has, like, creativity, the ocean is beautiful, and all those things. It's just I love Adelaide. It's one of my favorite places, and Jace has become a very good friend of mine. I have done a couple of his courses before when I was in Adelaide, and we've kind of stayed in touch on and off since then. And yeah, it's been incredible. Something that I will share here, because I'm interested to see how it transpires, is I know that Josh and I will probably eventually spend a bit of time in Hawaii. So I actually can probably mention on my podcast now that actually, no, I won't mention that yet. It's a bit of a secret, so I can't mention that. But Josh and I are going to we've spoken about Hawaii, and now Hawaii has a massive place in my heart. Massive. I know I need to go there and do a bit of work and be surrounded there. I also think Josh and I would possibly live there at some stage. But what was interesting is when I spoke to Jason, he said, oh, one of the other girls that's coming is actually from Hawaii, and she's a phenomenal healer. Because I said to him, I'm probably going to head over to America in a couple of years. I'd like to go to Hawaii, and I've kind of seen myself, I've already seen my forward self teaching in Hawaii. And he was like, funny you mentioned that one of the girls that's coming is from Hawaii. So that'll be really cool to kind of dive a little bit deeper with her. I can't tell you how excited I am for that, to be honest. It's going to be a wonderful break and a wonderful stage for me. I'm really looking forward to it. And then what else can I drop in with you guys and just kind of let you know what's happening? The little secret that I have, I can basically tell you, all I will say that I think Josh and I have decided not to be farming forever. So that's all I will kind of say on that little bit of a page. So we have a lot behind the scenes kind of happening at the moment. Hence why I'm doing this episode at nearly 7 o'clock at night, because it's just been a busy day. And also I am absolutely exhausted today. So instead of doing podcasts, I just laid around and had some lunch and things like that. So guys, it's been a massive year so far, from having Oakley and then to now. And I'm finding that obviously I'm a completely different person, but also I'm 30 this year. So when we go to Tasmania, I'm going to be 30. And I'm really excited to go into my dirty 30s. I'm a massive dirty 30 girl. If you don't know me, my sense of humor is very dirty. I have a very dirty sense of humor. I find things very funny like that. Lots of joking, like Josh and I joke a lot, and we have a lot of a laugh and stuff like that. So yeah, I can't wait to turn 30. I'm feeling good vibes for me in my 30s. You know, my early 20s, I've spoken about this before. It's definitely was a massive, I definitely signed up for a lot of growth and a lot of learning to be able to teach women what I've learned. And a lot of it I was thinking today was and I actually learnt something today. I follow a lady called Elizabeth April, who basically is from the Federation, Galactic Federation, and she is the real deal, guys. If you are looking to look into more about aliens and different things, she is your gal. But she doesn't go crazy into it, but she's just super intuitive with things. I love her, and I highly, highly recommend if you following this podcast for that type of stuff. She's incredible. Anyway, she was talking to someone in an interview, and she said that there's only 2% of star seeds, and the rest are, sometimes some of them are different beings, but mostly it is the energy of people who are born on the earth and are from the earth. So some people are actually born and from earth, and people like myself are not born from earth. So when you're looking for a partner or a soulmate, guys, most people like myself have come back to finish off something that we've started. So we align with somebody who is in our soul family. And when it comes to people who are already vibrationally here and live here, they want to stay in that vibration and they want to keep doing what they're doing. So if, say, I was to mingle with somebody in that vibration, which I have before, it doesn't work. It basically doesn't work. Because you will end up getting pulled to follow your inner path and inner journey if you're a starseed, and they possibly won't, and that is just the truth. And I have found along the way, dating guys and things in my 20s, that a lot of guys don't want growth. They just want companionship and partnership and somebody to match them. Whether I always knew that I wanted deep love and deep growth. And I can say to you now that it is the biggest stretch that I've signed up for. And it's not that easy sometimes. Like, I actually say this a lot. And then you would hear me be very honest and open about this. It is very challenging some days, being with a soulmate. And as much as like it is the most beautiful thing ever, I only really share about the things that are, that I would say are challenging, because I want people to know the authentic truth of relationships, and that is that they're supposed to be challenging of growth. But in my 20s, I found that dating was really easy to kind of see the people that just wanted companionship or were just dating because they needed to date, and they weren't actually on that level of my mind and where my soul yearned for. And a lot of women find that, but stay with partners because they feel or think that they are in love. Now, I'm not saying this for everybody. I'm just saying that this is just from my experience and my knowledge. And what happens is when they hit their late 20s and early 30s, is that they actually discover that they are actually looking for something more solid and deeper. And that is why a lot of people do split, because they've asked for growth and they've asked for things and it hasn't happened, and then they meet somebody else that matches them and they are into growth, and also the female has grown a lot more as well. I can only speak from a female point of view, by the way. But yeah, I feel like I was desperately looking for that in my 20s, and now that I have it in my 30s, well, nearly 30, I love it. It's the best thing ever, and I thrive and love growth, but also there are times when I'm literally like, what did I sign up for? I literally signed up for, met my husband, within a year we fell pregnant, and then we had a baby the year after, okay? Or we were together for nearly a year, then we fell pregnant, we got engaged, we had a baby, I was planning a wedding, we just had a wedding, and now we're basically trying to level out for a couple of years before we have our next baby. We're only going to have 2, we've decided, and that feels very authentic on the soul level for me with our next bub. I think it's a boy. But yeah, we're not going to have kids for a bit. But I literally signed up for that to have everything to happen so quickly. And I can tell you now, the growth that has had to happen in between is very stretchy, very tiring, and sometimes can be an overload. If I didn't have my mentor, I would feel like I was overloaded by 1,000 volts of energy. I can tell you now, with everything that goes on and happens. So I guess I'm just sharing every day-to-day chat that I would have with a friend, or just chat about things, and that goes from like being very spiritual to like being very normal to talking about a lot of different things. So yeah, it has been a big couple of years, and I feel like I'm just exhausted, to be honest, at the moment, probably because my period, but it just feels like there's a lot. And also with my work, I have a little bit of a barrier that I'm working through at the moment, knowing what I know about what I can do, and the impact that I can make sometimes blocks me because I start to overthink everything. And that's just a normal process. I start to question myself. I start to get frustrated. And then I just, Also, when you're working with energy, guys, something that my mentor always says to me is he said that sometimes I don't listen to him, which is true. And that I block energy myself. And that is very true too, because sometimes it's just like, I have to get used to new energy, basically. So think about this. I've worked with my mentor since I was 15, okay? It's 365 days in a year. I see him once a month, okay? I see him once a month, and there is so many energies that I am connecting to and different levels that I have had to go through so that eventually... So we have our spirit and our body, which I've explained. So eventually my soul can fully come back and be formed in my body this lifetime, which is super rare. So I feel like some days I have a lot of pressure on me, but I love it at the same time because I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm starting to understand that there's so many different levels of like souls and energies and people. And there's a lot happening behind the scenes that I don't really share just yet. I have shared a bit of my channeling, but like I haven't shared too much about like the fact that I can see like other like light beings and stuff like that, and I'm actually starting to see beings now. It was always meant to be for me at 29 that I would open up my pineal gland, which is like in the back of your head, which is also gives you access to seeing other beings, other dimensions and other things. So that has been like a bit of a journey in itself to like adapt to those types of things as well. So yeah, there's a lot that kind of has been going on and happening in the scenes. But yeah, so Oakley turned 1, going back to that for a second. See, I can jump from one side to the other. Also, we had so much rain. I'm loving the rain, loving the cold. I'm actually sitting on our couch right now, cozying up with the heater on, which is so nice. I just want to thank everybody for being here too and listening to me every single week. I'm only going to ramble on for a couple more minutes and then you guys can leave. But thank you for being here and supporting me every week. I think last week, if I have a quick look on my phone, I'm 100% sure that last week was one of my biggest weeks with people looking at my podcast, and the week before I took a week off, which was really nice. Yeah, there was like so many people have been looking at my podcast, which I'm stoked about. There's been so much, and like different countries, different cities. I'm absolutely gobsmacked at how much like people have been listening to my podcast. So I just want to say thank you so much for listening. It really means a lot to me. You know me, if you've been here for a while. If you don't, I ramble and kind of like add things together and like change them and talk about lots of different subjects and things. So like I said, if there is something that you would like me to talk about, please DM me. I know you guys are looking at my podcast because I can actually see it shows me. So please let me know if there is anything specific that you would like for me to talk about. But yeah, I just want to say again from the bottom of my heart, you don't know how much it means to me that you guys listen to my podcast each week. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure being able to share my world and everything that kind of goes on, because I have such a busy mind with spiritual stuff. I can think about, the thing is, because I'm highly emotionally developed as well, because I've been working with my third eye for a while, it opens up your emotional side and connection again. You start to really see the behavior of people around you, and you start to not want to put up with it. So sometimes when people do stuff, and I'm saying on my period like now, I can overthink things. Like women do that in general, but I feel like I do that like twice as much because I've got a lot like beaming through my head and those types of things. But I'm also grateful for my gifts. But because all my senses are switched on constantly, sometimes it feels like a system overload. Especially like lately I've been on my phone a little bit too much during the day. I'm very bored at home, if I'm honest, guys. It's a season at the moment. It's about to shift and change, and I'll be getting a lot busier. But yeah, for now, it's I'm a bit bored. And I have things to do here. Like I do stuff, by the way. So if you're wondering what I do at the moment, I either record some things, like my podcast, or I record some meditations or do stuff. And then I do a heap of washing. There's just a ton of washing always to be done on the farm. Oakley and I actually get out quite a few times a day. She loves the motorbike. We get on the motorbike and we drive around, and my parents live on a separate farm, so I go and visit them sometimes. I've been trying to get her outside more to do things and stuff, but she's only just started to like really start to walk. But yeah, honestly, it is 100 k's away from basically a proper town. So I'm in the middle of nowhere. And I actually thrive really well in the desert because I feel grounded and safe with the earth. Because I work with the earth so much, I feel actually very, very safe with the earth. So for me, that's like, I love it. It's great, but it's not forever. We are missing certain things, and also it can be quite isolating. There isn't a massive, I'm lucky I have my parents and my cousins that live across the road, but we don't actually have a massive population of people our age. And Josh and I, we're obviously very different. We don't drink and all those types of things. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. But thank you for listening this week, and I will be back next week.